Almost every Republican presidential candidate is pushing to build a wall along the southern border. You'll recall that was one of Donald Trump's signature campaign promises. He ran on that, the idea of building a wall, back in 2016. At the time, he was met with criticism from a whole bunch of Republicans, some of whom are now. That includes Chris Christie and Nikki Haley, who both appear to have had a change of heart. In 2015, Haley called the Build the Wall slogan a, quote, gimmick. 2 months ago, she toured the border where parts of the wall had been put up and promised to, quote, finish what we started. So let's talk to national political correspondent for Axios, Alex Thompson, who's got some brand new reporting on this very issue. So we should note that there actually hasn't been that much of the wall that's been built under Trump's administration, although he claims all the time that it's big and beautiful and finished. That's not true. That said, a lot of Republicans now, as you report smartly, have really embraced this concept. Tell us what that means about how the party has changed since 2016.
Yeah, I mean, we've always talked about in 2012, there was the big GOP autopsy, right? Which is you have to become more lenient on illegal immigration. You have to embrace immigration reform. Donald Trump defied that, ended up winning. Now you have the entire party basically circling around what Trump did on immigration. In some cases, they're actually pushing to go even beyond what Trump did and criticizing Donald Trump for not being tough enough on immigration or not being effective enough. You had Ron DeSantis down at the border on Monday. He was speaking in front of huge banners that said, finish the wall, build the wall. You also have Vivek Ramaswamy basically saying Trump didn't do enough. We have to bring the army to the border. You essentially have to militarize the entire southern border. This is where the rhetoric has gone. In fact, people are, and it's basically a bet that the GOP electorate is more angry than they were in 2016 rather than less.
So let's take this from another angle. It shows that's a specific policy proposal that clearly shows where the Republican Party stands on immigration. But it also shows just Donald Trump's complete dominance of the field. This is his signature issue. And if you're a candidate who's trying to beat Donald Trump, you eventually have to differentiate yourself from Donald Trump. They're not doing it here.
No, not at all. The only way they're differentiating is saying, well, he was right on the substance, but wrong on the execution. And it's really unclear if you can run against Donald Trump and as the tribute band, essentially, to Donald Trump, when people still want to see the original show. They still want to see the Stones, not the tribute band.
Yeah, that's a great point. And like the Republicans have just had so much trouble figuring out how to approach Trump, because they don't want to alienate his base, but also like they've become worse coming off as a pale imitation. I want to revisit something we talked about earlier in the show, which is President Biden really embracing the state of the economy right now. And look, the economy is central to any incumbent running for re-election. The economy goes south, it could be bad news for the hopes of a second term. White House staff's pretty candid. They feel like they're not getting enough credit for this. They're really trying to do a sales job. They were in Chicago yesterday with a Bidenomics speech. He's talking about it again later this week, too. Tell me what you think's behind it and what risks are there.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, even though they have there's a lot of things that they can point to a very strong economic record, record levels of low unemployment, et cetera. But if you look at the polling, actually, there isn't a lot to be very encouraged about if you're in the White House right now. For instance, Gallup always tracks, confidence or feelings about the economy. When Joe Biden was sworn in, only about 33% rated the economy as poor. Remember, this is still before the vaccines. Just recently, as of last month, 47% rated the economy as poor. So you have this sort of risk where they do have something to run on, and they do feel like they don't get enough credit for things that go right. For instance, bringing gas prices down after they were high. But if you embrace the economy and people don't feel good about it, then you really run a huge risk of not having a good re-election.
And it's the poll number is so stunning that significantly more Americans feel worse about the economy now than then, even by virtually every metric. It's doing better.
Yep.
Inflation remains high, of course, but certainly better than it was as well. And we should note, President Biden sits down with our colleague Nicole Wallace for an exclusive live interview today at 4 o'clock on Deadline White House. I believe his first live televised interview since taking office. National political correspondent for Axios. Great stuff as always, Alex Thompson. We really appreciate it. Thank you for being here. And thanks to all of you.